We good?
I think it's live.
Yep, we're good. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this informational live stream about Duke Rotaract. My name is Brandon Dodds. I am the president of Duke Rotaract for this year. And I'm just going to introduce myself, and then we'll all introduce ourselves, and then we'll get started. So I first heard about Rotary in high school. I didn't really know about it, but I did this camp that was a leadership camp sponsored by Rotary, and that's when I first found out about Rotary. And I had the opportunity to attend some Rotary meetings, and that's when I really was exposed to what Rotary was as an organization and the people that were in it, and the amount of good they do in the world. So then when I came to Duke, I probably like many of you, I saw a Facebook post that said join Duke Rotaract, and I did, and then I got a director position, and now I'm the president. And this past summer, because of this club, Duke Rotaract, I had the opportunity to attend the Rotary International Convention in Hamburg, Germany, where I got to present with Taylor, who was the president last year, who will introduce herself in a moment. And that was a really amazing event because I got to meet people from all over the world. Rotary is a very international organization. And so being able to attend that convention was really a blessing that Rotaract provided for me. So with that, I will let someone else introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe. You probably saw my Facebook post, and that's how you ended up here. I am the PR director for Duke Rotaract for this year, and you'll see a lot of posts made by me in the coming future. And I'll mention all of our different social media accounts in a little bit, so you can follow all of them and stay updated. But I actually joined Duke Rotaract, I guess, this spring or last spring, when I was going to some of the different service events and not actually being a part of the club. And then I just ended up finding out that they were doing elections for positions, and I love talking to people. So I applied to be the PR director and ended up taking over that position. And now I love it because instead of just going to the service events, I get to be involved in everything that Duke Rotaract does, which is kind of amazing. And I guess I'll let someone else introduce themselves now too.
Before we continue with introductions, anyone that is watching, within YouTube, there should be a live chat. If you could send a message in there letting us know that you can hear us, that would be awesome, because we want to make sure you can actually hear what we're saying. So we're going to pause for a second until someone sends a message before we continue. Yay, okay, sweet. Thank you, Gabriel. Right, Gio, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, hi guys, I'm Gio. I am the treasurer for this upcoming year. So how I got involved with Rotaract may not be the most conventional way, but essentially freshman year, I was very good friends with Taylor, and she had told me all about her experience with Interact back in high school, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool and neat experience, and I wish we had something like that here at Duke. But unfortunately, we didn't have a club. So last year, Taylor took on the task of founding this club, and she took me along, and we just kind of stuck together ever since. And we've been working with the club, and it's been honestly like a wonderful experience, and truly a blessing to be able to help so many people and be like a part of such a impactful organization. So yeah.
All right. So I guess that means that I'm Taylor. So I was a part of Interact when I was in high school. I helped start the Interact Club, which is like the middle school, high school chapter of Rotary. Back in 8th grade, I helped start that. And then I got to Duke, and I was super duper excited to join the Rotaract Club because Rotaract was actually started in Charlotte, North Carolina, like 51 years ago. So of course Duke was going to have a Rotaract Club, but they did not. So the only option I had was to start one. And I dragged some friends along to help me along the way, like Gio. And honestly, it's been really, it's been difficult along the way to start your own club at Duke, but it's been nice kind of to see the club grow and see different people from different areas of Duke, different majors, different years, all kind of come together to just want to help serve the community and the world. Yeah, so it's been great.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the more informational stuff about Rotaract. So to start, Rotaract is an international service organization for young adults and is a partner of Rotary International. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million business and professional leaders from over 200 countries who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Members of Duke Rotaract work on community and international projects, build leadership skills, and network with business professionals to promote an attitude of service above self. And our club is sponsored by two Rotary clubs, the Rotary Club of Durham and the Rotary Club of Southwest Durham. And through this partnership, students have the opportunity to build leadership skills, develop relationships with business professionals, gain mentors, and provide service for the local community and the world. And really, for me, I think what Rotaract boils down to is three things: service, obviously that is our main purpose; service, networking, and professional development. Networking because really Rotaract is a very diverse crowd, and you meet people from, as Taylor said, different majors, many different parts of Duke who maybe you would not have met outside of Rotaract. And that's true of Rotary International as well, being a very international club. You meet people from all different walks of life. So there's a really great networking aspect there. And then professional development is another major emphasis of Rotaract. And we'll talk a little bit more later about some professional development things that we do.
All right, so just to kind of talk about Rotary International in general. So Rotary was founded, I believe in Chicago about, Brandon, do you remember when it was founded? I don't know the date or the year. A long time ago, 1900s at some point. And it was just a group of business professionals that wanted to spend their extra free time actually helping the community. So it started as a business organization pretty much. Now Rotary International has grown to 1.2 million members in 200 countries around the world, and everyone is involved with it, not just business professionals. So there's Rotary International, which Rotary is like the 35 and up range of people that are involved. And then there's Rotaract, which is 18 to 35. So that's our range. And then there's Interact, which is like high school and middle school. Now, if you're coming into college and you're not quite 18, it's okay if you join Rotaract. There's not like a strict cutoff or anything. You're more than welcome to still join. Rotaract in general has about almost 11,000 clubs around the world. So that's a network of over 11,000 clubs that we can connect to for either advice on how to run our club or different kinds of ideas on service, potentially collaborations on service, either traveling there or doing projects or sending money, just different opportunities for us to connect with people like us that are young and just want to help the community. So it's neat to, just by joining Rotary and Rotaract, you're connecting to that many people around the world that are of similar mindsets that they just want to help people. Now, Rotary has 6 general areas of focus. So number 1 is promoting peace. Now, this focuses mainly on fighting the underlying causes of conflict. So things like poverty, ethnic tensions, unequal resources. There's not a ton that we've been able to do as far as promoting peace, but we're working to find ways that we can actually help in that category of the 6 areas of focus. The second one is fighting disease, so providing medical care, raising money for polio eradication, which is one of Rotary's main focuses. I believe Rotary has immunized over 2.5 billion kids around the world, which is really neat. So I think polio, I think it's only present in like 2 countries at this point now. So Rotary is really close to completely eradicating it, which is exciting. Providing clean water is the 3rd area of focus. So that's finding ways to make it easier for remote communities to get access to clean water that doesn't have pesticides or different bacteria in it, so that they can actually drink and get the education that they need about clean water as needed. The fourth is saving mothers and children. So that's doing child immunizations, giving birth kits, just helping educate mothers about best practice in terms of caring for their children and making sure that they are healthy and continue to be healthy throughout their childhood. The fifth is supporting education. So sending backpack supplies to countries that don't necessarily have the supplies that they need to school. Actually providing money to send students in remote communities to school. Helping with literacy. I think 775 million people, that's what we have written here, 15 and up are illiterate. So that's a lot of people in the world. So we're very fortunate in the United States, and especially all of you guys that are about to come to Duke. We're super fortunate in terms of education. So that's an easy way that we can help the community in the world. And the final area of focus is growing local economies. So adopting a village, helping with job training, using solar lighting in secluded areas, just different ways that we can help economies around the world.
Yeah, so this past year, we've obviously dealt with the troubles of trying to start a new club. But within that time, we also found time to serve the community, both locally and internationally. So certain programs or events that we have put together this past year were the service above self. And essentially, this was just like a presentation from several different professionals that came in, gave us a talk about their lives, what it is they do, and just gave us a different perspective on several different professions and just like life experiences. Additionally, we've held several fundraisers, between them the Panda fundraiser, just Panda Express worked with us in order to raise money for the club. Additionally, for other professional development, we have the resume workshop, which we know it's very important for us, especially being in college. Resumes are very important in applying for jobs, internships, and whatnot. We've also helped with gardening with the Keep Durham Beautiful, building a pollinator garden. We've helped with the Durham Rescue Mission. And as our international project this past year, we were able to sponsor a kid in the Dominican Republic, just pay for his education, which might not seem terrible, like too hard, but like in actuality, it's very hard for people in like countries like the Dominican Republic to actually get that type of education. And finally, another event that we did was the ML Day food packaging. And we just volunteered to set up a food drive and like packing food that day. And then for the future plans, we do plan to have further fundraising with Pan Express and just tabling with other like baked goods or whatnot. But also we have career nights for professional development. We plan to keep doing the service above self symposium and Toastmasters. We also plan to have T-shirts to do tree plantings and have a food insecurity initiative just to raise food and canned goods and whatnot. And in the future, we want to have a international trip. We're still working out the details of where exactly and what exactly we will do. But if you do join the club, you will have a say on what it is that we do for that.
I'm going to jump in real quick. So Rotary has districts around the world. So our district is the heart of North Carolina. And our focus as a district this year is food insecurity. So I think Durham's a county, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Durham County, not just the city, but the county is the highest rate. It has the highest rate of food insecurity in North Carolina, or second highest, or something like that, which is crazy. So that's our focus for this year. So we're going to try to do multiple different projects that focus around food insecurity. So different food drives, continuing with the ML Day food packaging, volunteering with different food kitchens and soup kitchens and things like that. So that'll be a big focus for this year, but it will also be doing basically whatever the members would like to do.
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize that really quick. We are a club of our members. The leadership of this club exists to, facilitate service and help our members be involved in service. And really, we want to do whatever all of you want to do. So we just have some ideas of potential service projects, but really, if you, come to Duke and you join our club and you have a really strong passion for something, we can find a service project for that. You just have to, talk to us. So that's something that we'll definitely be doing this year.
So now that you've heard things that we do, we want to let you know when we're meeting so you can see if this is something you're interested in, how to fit it in your schedule. We have weekly or meetings every other week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. for an hour. And at those meetings, we get together, we talk, we find out what we're doing. We just meet and join one another to really grow and serve others. But aside from that, we also have different committees that'll meet at other times based on scheduling. And committees are led by a director. There are 5 committees. The first one being club service. So we have different events to help build a community within the club. We recruitment, do different socials. We handle the photography, the social media. We write articles and have connections with the Duke Chronicle to get the word out about things that we're doing. And I'm a part of that committee. And so you could join it and help us with all of the stuff that we do. The next committee is community service. So members get to suggest different service projects, and then the community service committee helps plan these events and really put it into action and recruit people to go and do these things that we want to do. So you can join that committee and help plan the service events that we do. We also have a committee for international service. So members also get to suggest things for this committee, and we make a plan for whatever service project we're wanting to do. Sure, this could involve many different things, potentially even sending groups abroad. Next committee is professional development. So resume workshops, networking, finding other Rotary clubs to connect with and get mentors. You can join this committee and help plan these sorts of things. The Service Above Self event that we put on is planned by the Professional Development Committee, and it just ends up working beautifully where you get to meet so many interesting people from the community and potentially even from around the world. The final committee is finance. You find out the funding, you collect dues, you get donations for events, you really make sure the club actually stays running, because that's kind of an important part. So since I'm the PR director, I'm going to specifically mention that you should follow us on all of our social media accounts. We have a Facebook page, Duke Rotaract. We have an Instagram page, @DukeRotaract. We have a LinkedIn page, and we're in the process of getting a website made. So that's something else you could be looking for that will definitely be posted on other social media. So you should follow us on all of those for sure.
And just to add to, so the way committees work is in our first meetings, we won't have committees formed yet. We'll just be doing general club business or and other things like that. But the second or third meeting, I think you'll be able to choose to join a committee and work specifically in one focus of the club. And you don't have to join a committee, but we strongly recommend that you do. And you don't have to worry about any extra meetings, because our committee meetings generally take place within our general body meetings. Usually the second half of the meetings are committee meetings. So it's not any extra commitment, really, other than being a normal member, to be in a committee. But we strongly encourage you to get more involved in the club that way, because it's a more fulfilling experience, I believe.
And all events, regardless of what committee you're a part of, regardless of which committee plans the event, everyone that is a member is welcome to attend. And also, if you have friends that aren't necessarily in the club yet but are interested, you're welcome to bring them to events also. So everything that we put on, regardless of how you're involved, you're welcome to be a part of. Okay, we have a question. Is there an application process in order to become a new member? Are there any membership requirements? Brandon?
So there's no application. Basically, in order to be a member of Duke Rotaract, you have to pay dues is one thing. And then really, as far as requirements, we just expect you to be involved in the club as much as you can. And that really depends on how much you are willing to commit and how much time you're able to commit to the club. Because if you have a lot of other things going on, we don't want to, exclude you from the club just because you can't do as much as someone else. But there are really different levels of commitment. So just to be in the club, really, we just want you to show up. If you want to be a director or an officer in the future, then that would probably entail more commitment. So as far as an application, there's no application. We just expect you to show up and be involved, and that's about it. And if you have a problem paying dues, then that won't keep you from being in the club either. You just have to talk to one of us when that time comes. But yeah, thank you for the question. That's a good question.
The money for dues goes towards purchasing t-shirts for everyone in the fall, and then the rest of the money goes towards events that we plan as a club, like that are social events. So if we want to do a pizza party or something like that, that's what that money goes towards. So we're not fundraising. Like all the fundraising we do is largely for sending money somewhere or doing some kind of community service project. Gio, do you want to talk about that stuff?
Sure. So as a new club, we've also been interacting with several other Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs that are more well established, just so we can set the ground level so we can actually work forward and try to raise a better club. So we've been working with several different Rotaract clubs, including those from UNC, NC State, the UVA, Virginia Tech, and then from different countries like Chile, Uganda, Dominican Republic, and Atlanta. And then there's also different district leadership training events. Between them, there are the RI convention, the Rotaract pre-convention, the Inter-Rota, and the World Rotaract Week. So additionally, we wanted just to mention that there are several Rotarians that are famous, to say the least. Between them, JFK, Neil Armstrong, G.W. Bush, Walt Disney, and several different leaders, political leaders from different countries like France, Germany, Britain, Morocco, and Pakistan.
And we have another question. How much are club dues?
Yeah, so club dues this semester will be $20. So that might be a little too much for certain people just based on financial needs. And we completely understand that. Being the treasurer, you just come up to me, we'll talk about it, and don't worry about it. Money's an issue.
Okay, so I have a question. What if I am an incoming freshman and I want to join the executive team, be an officer or director? Is that possible? Can I do that as a freshman? Are we frozen? Taylor, Gio, are you there? Well, we may be experiencing technical difficulties. Okay, what's the...
I think I'm behind.
All right, so I guess Taylor and Gio are frozen for the moment. So the question was, if I'm a freshman, can I join the exec board, be an officer or director? And the answer to that is yes. There is a position called freshman representative that obviously is that position is held by a freshman. So there is a way to be involved directly with the planning of club events and things as a freshman. And even if you're not on the executive team, anyone really is welcome to provide input to our exec team. So all the other executive positions are not open to freshmen because they're already filled, but going forward, you can apply for any of those. Looks like Taylor and Gio are back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
But just to recap, we do have a first-year representative position. So even if you are a first year, you do have input in what we do and the board and whatnot. So yeah. Are we good? Can y'all see us?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think we're okay. All right.
Do we have any more questions from people watching that you can comment on the chat?
I have a question. If I am a freshman and I don't know campus very well yet, how do I figure out where to go for meetings? How do I figure out when they are? How do I get communication on the club?
So we don't have a meeting location yet. We're still waiting on confirmation for that. So we'll let you know when we do have that confirmed. But meetings will be Thursdays at 7 p.m. every other Thursday. And we will be sending we'll be posting on our Facebook and on Instagram, and we'll be sending emails out. So if you commented your net ID on the Facebook post or anywhere else, then we have your email. So you probably received an email reminding you about this live stream. So email is the primary way we communicate with club members. Excuse me. So that is how we'll relay information about club meetings, things like that. But just stay tuned for meeting location as we're waiting for that to be confirmed.
Yeah, additionally, we'll also be hosting a table at the activities fair the first week, and this will be in East Campus. So if you just stop by and swing by our table, we're more than happy to talk to you about any of the details, because by then we should have everything figured out.
If you look for a bright pink table cover, it's probably us. Bright pink and white are the colors for Rotaract.
Yep. Okay, I have a question. So if I am trying to be involved in service at Duke, why should I join Rotaract instead of another club?
Sure. So overall, Rotaract is a great service club, like many other service clubs on campus. But the one thing that separates Rotaract from many others is that we're not a very niche population. We're very open-minded, and we like to serve the entire community, regardless of what it is. And we're not like selective at all about who joins us. Like we know some communities are specific to engineers or specific to like certain other majors or whatnot, but like here at Rotaract, we welcome you with open arms for anyone who it is that wants to come and help.
And another thing that makes special, in my opinion, is the connection with Rotary. The fact that we have this international organization that has 1.2 million members that we can be connected with, and the fact that we can be in contact with people from all over the world, united with one goal of serving the community, I think is a really great thing. and all the networking and professional development opportunities that connection provides, I think are really unique to Rotaract and are definitely one of the big reasons why Rotaract is such a great organization to be part of.
I think also, like, Rotary focuses largely on the international aspect, but we also focus on serving our local community. So instead of like joining a service club that does something in like Madagascar, and then joining another service club that focuses on helping the Durham community, and then joining another club that focuses on professional development, like by joining Rotaract, you're getting all of those things in one. And it's a community of people that like really just want to help the community and also better themselves, which is neat.
I have a question. So as a freshman, I don't really know how much time I will need for my classes. So do you think it's reasonable to be a part of the club and other clubs and still be able to success academically and mentally and whatnot?
Yes, it's definitely possible. I mean, I was a director as a freshman, and while there are no longer director positions open to freshmen because, I mean, last year was the first year the club existed, so.
Except for first year representative.
First year representative. So I was a director last year, and I was involved in, planning, service above self, and attending board meetings and things like that. And you're definitely able to balance it. And I mean, this is true for Rotaract or any club. Anything you do really at your time at Duke, you just have to decide what is important and what is valuable to you, and put your time towards those activities. And if you decide that Rotaract is something that's important to you, then it's very easy to make time for it. And additionally, let's say you're involved in a lot of different things and you maybe don't have as much time as you would like to devote to Rotaract, you can be involved as little or as much as you like. We don't have strict requirements on how much you need to be involved. Really, if you can only attend one meeting a month, I mean, that's great. We want you to be there one meeting a month. Maybe don't try to be an officer if you can only be there one meeting a month, but we'd love to have you in the club regardless of how much time you can put in, and really just show up whenever you can.
Also, we had a couple members last year that couldn't make it to the meeting times every other week, but they were able to come to service events. So if for whatever reason Thursdays at 7 p.m. does not work for your schedule, you have some other commitment that you need to put in front of Rotaract, you can still be a part of the club and be a part of a committee and join projects and be involved without necessarily attending meetings.
And also, after every meeting, leave an email recapping what we talked about in the meeting, so you can still stay in the loop about what goes on in meetings, even if you cannot attend.
All right, well, if there are no more questions, should we start from the beginning again, one more time?
Yeah, we're just going to start from the beginning just in case people joined that missed the first part. So, all right. If you just joined, welcome to this informational live stream about Duke Rotaract. If you have been here for a while, thank you for being here. If you want to leave, feel free to. This will all be repeat. But my name is Brandon Dodds. I am a rising sophomore. I'm the president of Duke Rotaract for this year. And I first got involved in Rotaract during high school, or I first learned about it during high school when I attended a Rotary-sponsored leadership camp, and that exposed me to the kind of people that are involved in Rotary and the impact Rotary can have on a community. And I was able to attend some Rotary meetings of the local club, and that's really my first experience with Rotary. And as soon as from that, I knew I wanted to be involved in Rotary in the future. And then when I came to Duke, I saw, probably like many of you, a Facebook post saying join Rotaract. I was like, okay, cool, I'll join Rotaract. So I commented my net ID, and I went to the meetings, and then I became a director. I was director of professional development my last year, and then in the spring I ran for president. So now I'm president of Duke Rotaract. And one really cool experience that I've had because of Rotaract was this summer I was able to attend the Rotary International Convention in Hamburg, Germany, where I presented with Taylor at the Rotaract pre-convention, and that was a really great experience because I got to meet people from all over the world that were in the same organization as me and had similar values and were trying to do the similar sorts of things in their own communities. So that was a really cool experience just to see the reach that Rotary has all over the world and how many different people from all different walks of life are involved in it. So with that, I'll let Chloe introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Chloe. If you're here, you probably saw my Facebook post because I'm the director of public relations, or the PR director for short. I'm the one you'll see posts from fairly frequently, and I am also a rising sophomore at Duke. I actually joined Duke Rotaract in the spring. I was unable to attend general body meetings, but I would go to their service events and help out in the community because it was something I was passionate about, and it gave me a way to do it. And then in the spring, I applied to be the PR director because I love talking to people. So if you see me around campus, feel free to say hi. I might have given you a tour at one point. Yeah, so feel free to stop by and talk. And with that, I'll let someone else introduce themselves.
Okay, so hi, I'm Gio. I am the current treasurer for Duke Rotaract. And the way I got involved in Rotaract is a little bit interesting. So coming into my freshman year, Duke Rotaract was not a thing. It was not a club that existed at Duke. And very honestly, I didn't have any knowledge about like Rotaract, Rotary, or anything like that. But I did know Taylor, and we were very good friends. And she had told me about her experience in Interact and her like interest in potentially founding a Duke Rotaract, since it's something that's always been a big part of her. And like ever since, I kind of been on board and been very supportive of it, and like helped her establish the club as a treasurer last year as well. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I loved Rotaract ever since we've started it. It's been a lot of work, but also it's been very like good to us. It's like it's been a blessing in disguise. Like very honestly, it's been a lot of work, but it's also been a good way for us to really like help out the community and just serve, which I think is a really important part of what we do.
All right, and I am Taylor. So both of my parents are my whole family actually is very involved in Rotary. So it's kind of been a part of me my entire life. In high school and middle school, I was involved with starting the Interact Club at my high school, which is the high school / middle school version of Rotary. Rotaract is more of the 18 to 35 range, so college and up. And Rotaract was started in Charlotte, North Carolina 51 years ago. So when I got into Duke, I was super excited to join the Rotaract Club because, of course, Duke was going to have a Rotaract Club. It was started really, really close by 50 years ago, but they did not. So the only option was to start one. So I recruited some help. Gio was one of the people that jumped on board right away. And we started a Rotaract Club. I think we became official last October. So we're a new club. We're still in the process of kind of figuring out where we want to focus our service on and kind of figuring out like where our place is in the Duke community. But I think that's cool because everyone that's involved in our club at this point is going to be a big part of deciding where a club goes. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, so now I'm just going to talk about what Rotaract is, if you do not know what it already is. So Rotaract is an international service organization for young adults and a partner of Rotary International. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million business and professional leaders from over 200 countries who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Members of Duke Rotaract work on community and international projects, build leadership skills, and network with business professionals to promote an attitude of service above self. And our club is sponsored by two Rotary clubs, the Rotary Club of Durham and the Rotary Club of Southwest Durham. And through this partnership, students have the opportunity to build leadership skills, develop relationships with business professionals, gain mentors, and provide service for the local community and the world. And you just heard like the official Rotary definition of Rotaract. But what I really think it boils down to are three things: service, which obviously is our main focus, networking, and professional development. And as far as networking and professional development, because Rotaract brings in such a diverse crowd, people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, majors, it really gives you the opportunity to meet a lot of people that maybe you would not have met. Maybe you're an engineer and most of the people you know are also engineers, or vice versa. But if by joining Rotaract, you get to meet people from all different majors, all sorts of backgrounds, and I mean, really, Rotary is an international organization with people from over 200 countries. So you really get to be involved with people from all over the world. And additionally, the professional development aspect of Rotaract, I think, sets it apart from other clubs because we have the connection with Rotary International, which basically we have a connection to Rotarians who are active business professionals that do a lot in the community, and we get to be involved in that. And there's definitely a mentorship opportunity there. So service, networking, and professional development, I think, are the three big draws of why anyone would want to join Rotaract.
All right. Yeah. So overall, Rotary International was started in 1905 in Chicago, Illinois, a long time ago, by a group of business professionals that wanted to spend their free time helping the community and the world somehow. Now, since 1905, Rotary International has grown from a group of like 10 people to a group of 1.2 million people, both business professionals, just leaders around the world, young people. So it's a group of people that come from different walks of life, different areas of focus, and just really want to help the world and be connected to people with different mindsets. So it's kind of cool just by joining Rotaract, you become a part of that network. Rotaract in particular has almost 11,000 clubs around the world in 185 countries. So again, just by joining Rotaract, you're connected to those clubs and those people in places as far away as Australia or Uganda, Iceland, and as close as UNC. So we have the opportunity of connecting with all of those people and potentially doing joint service projects and learning from them about what their interest is in terms of service and kind of figuring out what we should do as a club. Now, Rotary has 6 areas of focus, and I'm going to go through them a little bit faster this time. So the first is promoting peace. So that focuses on combating underlying causes of conflict like poverty, ethnic tensions, etc. Second is fighting diseases. So providing medical care, raising money for polio eradication. Polio eradication is one of the large focuses of Rotary International. I believe polio is only present in about 2 countries around the world still. So we're almost done with getting rid of polio, which is exciting. The third area of focus is providing clean water. So installing water filters, getting chlorinated water to people in remote communities that don't have access to clean water necessarily. Fourth is saving mothers and children. So providing birthing kits and educating mothers on how to care for their children and making sure that they have a safe and productive childhood. That's not the right word. That's fine. We're going to move on. Fifth is supporting education. So providing backpacks and school supplies to children in both the Durham community and internationally, and helping with child and adult literacy. And finally, the sixth area of focus is growing local economies. So that could be adopting a village, helping with job training, installing electricity through like solar power somehow. So through those six areas of focus, honestly, any kind of service can fall into some kind of category. So it's kind of neat that Rotary, like with Rotary, you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, so this past year, we've done several projects that fall within these six categories. But as we mentioned, we are a new club. So in order to actually get like a sustainable club, we needed to do some fundraising. So some of the events that we were able to do were fundraisings in collaboration with Panda Express, or just tabling for baked goods like donuts in order to get money for the club and do certain activities. Other service or other events, mainly professional development events, were the service above self one and
interrupt. Talk about that. I planned it. Okay. So service above self was a big professional development event that we did in the spring, and basically we invited Rotarians, 3 Rotarians from our sponsor Rotary Clubs, and they just came and spoke to the club about their careers and how they've been involved in Rotary throughout their lives and the impact it's had on them. And that was really cool to be able to hear from them about their life experiences. And before the each Rotarian spoke, we had refreshments and a networking opportunity so you could just talk to the Rotarians, and that was personally that was my favorite part of the event. So that's just an example of the types of things we can do because of our connection with Rotary and because of the professional development emphasis of our club. Gio, continue, please.
Yeah, so aside from some professional development events, we also have more service-oriented events, such as the Keep Durham Beautiful, where we were able to build a pollinator garden or help build a pollinator garden. We also work with Durham Rescue Mission, and we did food packaging for MLK Day. Additionally, as our international service project this past year, we plan to sponsor a kid in the Dominican Republic to go to school, which might not seem like a big deal, but in a country like the Dominican Republic, it's pretty impactful how like children are not able to have access to certain education. So we just wanted to make sure that certain kids are able to do that. And then going forward, we do have other events planned, much of them being the same, just because these were very successful events, such as the fundraisers and the service above self, like Brandon talked about. But this year's the district of, or like our district, which is the heart of the Carolinas, right? The focus is for food insecurity, with Durham County being one of the like counties in the state of North Carolina with most food insecurity. Their focus is just for us to be able to like provide goods or host just events to provide food, raise canned goods and whatnot, and just help this cause of food insecurity. Additionally, we'll have more professional events such as Toastmasters. We do plan to have T-shirts and potentially an international trip for next year, which we're still working out the details and we're not quite certain of, but you as club members can help us decide what we're going to do with this international trip and any other service event within the community.
Okay, now a little bit about the club itself, and if you're thinking you might want to join, you kind of want to know when we'll be meeting. So every other week we meet for an hour on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And that's just where we get together, we get to share, grow, learn, and then we also get to meet with our committee. So we have 5 different committees you can potentially join. The director positions for those are full at the moment, but you can join leadership as a freshman as well, which we can talk about in a moment. But our first committee is club service, and I'm one of the directors of that committee as the PR director. So if you join this one, you can help with publicity, photographers, connections with the Duke Chronicle for articles, We also plan different social events so the club can really build a strong community as we go out and serve the community as well. We do recruitment things, so you can join that and help us with all of that. The next committee is community service. So members get to suggest different service projects, and the community service committee will develop a plan for the projects we're going to do. So you can really have an impact on what we do as a club by making these suggestions or joining the community service committee and planning these events. The next committee is international service. So members can also suggest different international projects, and the committee will help make a plan for the project, and eventually in the future we'll send groups abroad. Next, we have professional development, which Brandon was the director of last year. They plan different professional development events, so networking, connecting with other Rotary clubs, career fairs, service above self. So you can help plan those as well. Finally, we have the finance committee. So funding, collecting dues, making sure we have the money to help the club run and function as we want it to. So then, since I'm the PR director, I really have to make a plug for our social media. So we have our Facebook account, Duke Rotaract, our Instagram, at Duke Rotaract. We have a LinkedIn page as well, and we are in the process of making a website, which you will find out about if you follow the other social media accounts. Yeah.
And one thing that Chloe mentioned that I want to reiterate is that even though you're joining this club as a freshman and you've never been in it before, you really can have an impact on our club because we're a very new club. So we're still trying to, establish ourselves, and we're always looking for the input of our members to see what we should do next. And also, there is one position on the executive board that is open to freshmen. That is the freshman representative position. So you can be directly involved in planning, related to all facets of the club, and you have a direct voice in board meetings. So if you are coming in as a freshman and would like to be involved in the leadership of the club, that is, a good option for you.
Cool. So additionally to our own club, we are working in collaboration with other clubs around our area and even internationally. Some of them being the UNC club, the NC State club, UVA, Virginia Tech, clubs in Atlanta, Chile, Uganda, and the Dominican Republic. Additionally, there are several district leadership training events for everybody to be a part of, including the RI convention, the Rotaract pre-convention, into Rota, and the World Rotaract Week.
And if you're watching this and you have a question at any time, please feel free to comment that in the chat, and we will answer it, because that is we really want to take your questions and answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, and just a fun fact, there are several famous Rotarians around the world. Just to drop a few names: JFK, Neil Armstrong, G.W. Bush, Walt Disney, and several political leaders from countries like France, Germany, Britain, Morocco, and Pakistan.
All right, well, I think now we should answer some questions that were asked a few minutes ago when we did the first iteration of this. One question that was asked was, is there an application process in order to become a new member, and are there any membership requirements? And there is no application to join Duke Rotaract. Really the only formal, official requirement is that you pay your dues. And dues are $20 for this semester, but if $20 is an issue for you, then that's not a barrier to, we don't want that to keep you from joining. So just talk to one of us when that time comes to pay dues. And don't stress about dues. That's not a sticking point for joining the club. But back to requirements to be a member. We don't have strict requirements to be in the club. Really, we want you to be involved as much as you can. And if you want to put in a lot of time to the club and in the future run for an officer or director position, that is great. If you can only show up to one meeting a month, we want you to be there for that one meeting a month, but we don't want you to feel like you can't be in the club just because you can't be involved as other people might be. And let's say the meeting time conflicts with your schedule and you can't make any of the meetings, we still would love for you to show up to any service events that you can, and you can stay in the loop through our emails and our social media page. So really, there are no strict requirements to being a member. We just want you to be involved as much as you are willing to. Obviously, there are more. It's a bigger commitment if you want to be in a leadership position, but just to be in the club, really, we want anyone who can to be in the club. So.
I think we're going to end at 12, well, at noon Eastern time. So if you have any questions at this point, feel free to go ahead and write them in the live chat within YouTube. Covered everything. Yeah. Brandon, do you have any questions?
Nothing I can think of. I think we've hit on everything that we talked about in the last session.
What are you excited about for this year?
I'm
as president?
I'm excited just to see how much we can grow, just to see where this club can go now that we have members going into the year. I think that is important, and I'm excited for all the freshmen that are going to join, and just to see what they want to do and have their input in the club, because that's something that's very important for us to listen to our membership when we're making club decisions. So I'm excited for that, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to all the great service projects that we can be involved in. So.
Yeah.
Well, are there any more questions? I can ask you the questions.
No,
I don't think so. I think there's a bit of a lag, but I think that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have anything else.
All right.
awesome.
I think we're gonna end then. All right.
Thank you everyone for joining, and we look forward to meeting you in a few weeks.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your summer.